On January 17, 2006, at San Quentin State Prison, California, a lethal injection ended the life of Clarence Ray Allen, a contract killer who horrified America. In today's video, we will explore his turbulent childhood, the brutal crimes that claimed multiple lives the last meal he chose, and his final moments as he faced execution. What turned a 76-year-old man seemingly harmless behind bars into the mastermind of cold-blooded massacres? This case revolves around at least 4 victims, individuals whose lives were completely different but were tragically connected by Clarence Ray Allen. The first victim was Mary Sue Kitts, 17 years old, the girlfriend of Allen's son, Roger. She was murdered in 1974 for snitching about the Franz Market burglary that Allen masterminded. Allen ordered Lee Furrow to poison her with cyanide, and when that failed, he ordered her strangulation. Mary Sue Kitts' body was never found, a painful loss for her family. In 1980, during the Franz Market massacre, 3 more lives were lost at the hands of Billy Ray Hamilton under Allen's command. Brian Schlietowitz, the son of the Franz Market owner and a key witness against Allen in Mary Sue Kitts' murder. He was killed to prevent his testimony in an upcoming trial. Josephine Rocha, 17 years old, a young colleague of Brian Schlietowitz at Franz Market. She was also brutally murdered in this attack. Douglas White, 18 years old, another colleague at Franz Market. Like Josephine, Douglas was an innocent victim of Allen's revenge plot. Additionally, 2 other individuals, Joe Rios and Jack Abbott, were seriously wounded in this horrific assault. From a young witness to innocent employees, all were cruelly deprived of their lives simply for being obstacles in Allen's criminal schemes. Clarence Ray Allen was born on January 16, 1930 in Blair, southwestern Oklahoma. He claimed to be of Choctaw descent. At the age of 17, he married Helen Sevier. Allen had a complex criminal record. Initially, he was serving a life sentence for a murder conviction. However, even from within prison, he continued to orchestrate a criminal network. Clarence Ray Allen was not a random killer, but a dangerous mastermind capable of manipulating and threatening others to carry out the most brutal acts. He called himself a mafia hitman and claimed he would kill snitches, asserting that he had friends and connections to do so for him, even while imprisoned. Did this criminal past and reckless personality shape his path of crime, turning him from a prisoner into a serial murder orchestrator? Clarence Ray Allen's criminal story began in 1974 when he planned a burglary at Franz Market in Fresno. This plan involved not only his son Roger Allen, but also Ed Savala, Carl Mayfield, and Charles Jones, individuals working for Allen's security business and a burglary operation he ran. Allen arranged to steal keys and disable the alarm from Brian Schlietowitz, the owner's son, and then executed the burglary, stealing $500 in cash and $10,000 in money orders from the store's safe. After the burglary, Mary Sue Kitts, 17 years old, Roger Allen's girlfriend, told Brian Schlietowitz that Clarence Allen was the mastermind. Kitts knew this because she had helped Allen cash the stolen money orders. Upon learning this, Allen called a meeting and declared Kitts had talked too much and needed to be killed. He even held a vote on Kitts' execution, which was unanimous, as those present feared the consequences if they did not comply. Allen ordered Lee Furrow to kill Kitts. After an unsuccessful attempt to poison her with cyanide capsules, Allen urged Furrow to complete the job over the phone. After killing Kitts, Furrow threw her body into the Fryant-Kern Canal, where it was never found. Furrow later confessed and implicated Allen, leading to Allen's life sentence for murder. But Allen's criminal story did not end there. From prison, he continued to conspire. In 1980, while at Folsom Prison, Allen colluded with fellow inmate Billy Ray Hamilton to murder various witnesses who had testified against him in the Kitts murder case, including Brian Schlietowitz. Allen's goal was to initiate a new trial without any witnesses testifying against him. On September 5, 1980, after being paroled, Hamilton and his girlfriend Connie Barbeau went to Franz Market. There, Hamilton brutally killed Brian Schlietowitz, Josephine Rocha, 17 years old, and Douglas White, 18 years old, with a sawed-off shotgun, also wounding two others, Joe Rios and Jack Abbott. 5 days later, Hamilton was arrested while attempting to rob a liquor store and was found carrying an assassination list with the names and addresses of witnesses against Allen. What drove Allen to continue this violent path even while behind bars? After the horrific massacre at Franz Market on September 5, 1980, the investigation quickly focused on Billy Ray Hamilton. Just 5 days after the incident, Hamilton was arrested while attempting to rob a liquor store. Crucial evidence was found on his person, a detailed assassination list containing the names and addresses of witnesses who had testified against Clarence Ray Allen in the Mary Sue Kitts murder trial. Brian Schlietowitz, one of the most recent victims, was also on this list. The discovery of this list was key, immediately linking Hamilton to Clarence Ray Allen, who was already serving a life sentence. It clearly indicated a revenge plot orchestrated from prison. Law enforcement agencies quickly clarified the connection between the killer at the scene and the mastermind behind bars. The moment Hamilton was apprehended and the undeniable evidence was found marked the end of a terrifying crime spree. But did Allen ever think his elaborate plan could escape justice forever? The trial of Clarence Ray Allen for the 3 murders in the Franz Market massacre began in 1982 in Glenn County, California, following a change of venue. The trial lasted 23 days with 58 witnesses called to testify. The prosecutor argued strongly, emphasizing that Allen, despite being imprisoned, was the mastermind and had orchestrated the murders to silence witnesses and undermine the justice system. They presented evidence of Allen's career in staging violent robberies, including 10 violent crimes and 6 prior felonies, to demonstrate his dangerous nature. The defense argued that Allen was elderly and no longer a threat. However, the jury did not accept this argument. Ultimately, the jury convicted Allen of 3 counts of murder and conspiracy to murder 8 witnesses. Due to special circumstances, such as a history of murder and the act of killing witnesses for revenge and to prevent testimony, the jury handed down a death sentence. On December 1982, Allen was sentenced to 3 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances and placed on California's death row at San Quentin State Prison. This death sentence was upheld by the California Supreme Court in 1987. However, Allen's lawyers continued to appeal, arguing that executing an elderly and infirm person would constitute cruel and unusual punishment. But was this sentence enough to ease the pain of those left behind and uphold justice? On January 17, 2006, at the age of 76, Clarence Ray Allen faced execution by lethal injection at San Quentin State Prison, California. He was the second oldest inmate to be executed in the United States since 1976. Before his execution, Allen's lawyers attempted to appeal to California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger for clemency, arguing that he was too old and infirm to be a danger, and that his execution would be cruel and unusual punishment. However, Governor Schwarzenegger denied clemency, stating that Allen's conduct was not a result of youth or inexperience, but instead stemmed from the hardened and calculated decisions of a mature man. He also cited a poem Allen wrote, in which Allen praised his actions, indicating a lack of remorse. Clarence Ray Allen's last meal was a hearty one, a delicious steak burger, crispy French fries, sweet cream-filled donuts, and a refreshing glass of whole milk. When asked for his last words, Allen stated that he had nothing special to say, but he bid farewell to his family and friends. The lethal injection process proceeded quickly, and he was pronounced dead at 12:38 a.m. Prison officials later confirmed that Allen was lucid and able to walk into the death chamber on his own. Did Clarence Ray Allen's death bring comfort to the victims' families and a sense of closure to this horrific case? The case of Clarence Ray Allen raises profound questions about justice, punishment, and the nature of evil. What compelled a man already serving a life sentence to continue orchestrating murders from behind bars? The pain of the victims' families, especially the unrecovered body of Mary Sue Kitts, who was killed to be silenced, remains a difficult wound in the community. This case also fueled debate about capital punishment, particularly when involving an elderly and infirm inmate like Allen. His lawyers argued that his execution was cruel and unusual. However, the courts and the governor rejected this, emphasizing that his mental faculties were not diminished and he remained a threat capable of directing crimes remotely. Allen's case became a testament to the necessity of protecting witnesses and the integrity of the justice system. As of 2025, Clarence Ray Allen remains the most recent person executed in California, making this case a significant part of the state's judicial history. This case reminds us of the darkness that can lurk within the human soul and the terrible cost of violence. It also raises questions about society's role and the legal system's ability to prevent similar tragedies, especially when a perpetrator can continue to cause harm even while imprisoned.